I'm Edwin Warfield, the publisher of CityBiz, and I'm honored today to interview Ram Natarajan, who's the president of Quinte Financial Technologies. Welcome, Ram.
Thank you, Edwin. It's a pleasure talking to you.
As president, what are your responsibilities?
As my primary responsibility is growth, leading the company, achieving revenue targets, uh, working with our clients, which are really banks and credit unions here in the U.S., providing leadership to the team, and also making sure that the Quint brand makes an impact in the financial services space.
And can you provide an introduction to the services that you provide?
Yes, we are Quint Financial Technologies is a provider of solutions, mainly in the GRC space, more in the data analytics and cloud-based automation solutions. Our difference is that since our comes from a BPM, a business process management legacy, we have the luxury of having experts who are available. The human intelligence factor is available along with the solutions that we have. So our model is really about providing expert services, both with automated solutions as well as with backed by human experts.
And who are some of the key members of the management team?
One is me, of course, president. We have a chairman of a group of companies, a gentleman called Venu Gopal, and we have a business development head, a gentleman called Ankit. Then we have Nikhil, who was our CISO, and we also have Selvan, who is our head of operations. And in all, we have more than 300 people spread out of the U.S. and in India.
And so, can you drill a little deeper into what your primary services are that you're providing to the banks and credit unions?
Yes, our primary services are related to the GRC space, which is governance, risk, and compliance, in which what we provide a lot is primary services is in terms of automated dispute management and transaction monitoring solution. We have analytics services where we help the banks in getting the best out of the data and running the models and algorithms. What we are moving towards is really about towards hyper automation, as we call it, where automation with human in the loop. Our traditional areas have been more of transaction monitoring on fraud and AML, check fraud, loan servicing and loan management, deposit operations, and also what we also provide is relating to developers and coding services as well.
And so, how is AI impacting how your services that you're providing?
Yes, AI is now seems to be on everyone's minds. I mean, every bank, every credit union is looking to dabble in AI. Most of them are still trying to figure out is it for real or is it just a hype? And also they're looking at the fact that how best can AI be used as a tool rather than an end in itself. So where we are helping our customers is really in terms of we start from the basics. Again, it's need based. Different institutions are at different levels of interest in terms of automation and AI. So we have to go along with our first thing is about assessing the customer's needs and what their plans are and what their strategies are. So in that we cover automating routine tasks, for example. I mean, that's the easy part. The routine operational tasks, which traditionally has been done by putting in more people or more headcount, but that's something we are helping them in the current headcount being more effective by automating some of the tasks. The other area is about predictive analytics, where we're leveraging AI in analyzing the vast amounts of data that the banks are now getting, with all their integration and with the APIs circling around. It's important that they understand the data and predict the trends and make sharp decisions based on data. The other thing which we look at is about, like I mentioned before, fraud detection and AML monitoring, which is about transaction monitoring. which is a critical impact today, as you can see with several, one the regulatory pressure on financial institutions, and at the same time, consumers are also getting affected with scams and other areas where fraud is really hyper prevalent. So in all, everything centers around managing risk for the institution as well as managing the regulatory requirements. At the same time, doing what we call as intelligent process automation. That we're not automating tasks just for the just because it's as a project or as an IT project, but more due to the fact that there is a clear need for the business, and at the same time there is also it makes sense for them from a cost perspective and also from a operational perspective.
So, one of your recent white papers was optimizing dispute management in banks through technology and expertise. What were some of the key findings of that white paper?
Yes, this white paper is one of the many that we have been, one of the many that we have been producing for our customer base as well as for the industry in general, based on our experience and what we've been seeing as market trends in this space. Well, primarily the financial services ecosystem is now getting more and more complex. There is a huge amount of newer kind of transactions that are coming in, except especially in payment channels. You have digital wallets, you have BNPL, which is buy now pay later. We have app-based payments, and we have, of course, we have Zelle and Venmo and the likes. So all these kind of the wide customer choice in making payments, for example, and even other areas like on digital banking, where customers have several options for placing the deposits with the banks or onboarding for loans. There are several areas in which the transformation of the banking system into into digital is opening up a whole new ecosystem for for disputes and customer dissatisfaction. So what we are really seeing is that what the white paper really talks about is how the financial institutions can update their legacy systems, because we do have a problem of traditional legacy systems which are there, but at the same time, you can't just rip and replace them. You have to make the best out of them, and how they can integrate and interface with these new digital systems. Uh, Again, leveraging intelligent process automation, which we provide, how processes can be streamlined and we can get the most out of your current investment by integrating with our systems. Uh, and the importance of human expertise, along with just every problem is not necessarily a technology problem. And that's what we want to focus upon. I mean, the traditional or the good old focus on investigations and minimizing losses, and having the human expert is also important. And everything centers around the customer trust and customer confidence in the system, because while it is easy for a customer now to complain or register a dispute, but at the same time the whole process of dispute resolution or dispute management is not exactly simple.
So, I don't know if you saw the article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday on Revolut, the fintech company. So, yeah, tell us about where you see the future of fintech and how is it impacting you.
Yeah, fintech. Well, the road of fintech has been rocky and at the same time has been enormously on a fast track expressway over the last 5 years. Again, yes, there has been a sharp decline in funding for fintechs, which we have seen across the world. But at the same time, I think a correction was much needed, especially in the space of digital banks and fintechs, which are working with the banks and credit unions for in propagating newer technology and transformative services. But what is coming to kind of what is now hitting the financial services ecosystem is that just because you have new technology which is easy to implement does not mean that it makes sense for everyone at the same time. I think issues about security, cyber security, data security, as we have seen with the recent CrowdStrike, meltdown that we have seen over the last week. I think it just puts should I say, a very sobering effect on all of us to say, hey, don't get carried away, because there is more to it than just about launching new products or launching innovative new solutions. So I think the fintech's journey now here onwards is going to be a little more grounded. I don't think it's going to have that should I say that exaltive process of valuations and billions of dollars flowing into the industry. I think that's going to tone down a bit, which is perhaps just as well for the industry. But it just does not take away from the fact that fintechs will have to create efficient, inclusive, and innovative financial solutions, which are not only compliant with what the regulators want, but at the same time also looks at future proofing the ecosystem with with Gen AI and all these new things that are coming in.
So, where do you see the growth opportunities for your company?
Well, our growth opportunities, or what we are targeting, is really about everything in helping the financial institutions in their journey of digital transformation. Digital transformation, which is compliant and at the same time improves the customer experience, and also make sure that they continue with a high level of operational efficiency and cost savings. That is what is really our focus and growth opportunity. And within that, where we are looking at is in providing solutions and services with an experts in the loop on in helping the institutions in managing their managing this journey of understanding what is AI, how do you use data for more better decision making, and how do you at the same time also embrace automation as with the current legacy systems that you have, and as you implement newer and newer technology, it's all about you know it's all about the needs of our customers, and there is no one silver bullet that we can apply for everyone. The different institutions are at different levels of transformation, and in terms of the strategic orientation. And so our thing is really about need-based solutioning, depending on their budgets and depending on their strategic imperatives.
So, Ram, is there any part of your personal journey or your company's journey that you haven't covered that you'd like to share with us? Is there something missing in this interview?
Well, I mean, I could talk all day about what what the banks and credit unions here are looking at, and at the same time are want to be seen as being transformative, and want to be seen as being embracing new technology, but at the same time common sense prevails, or things are holding them back from just blindly adopting technology. I think the latest example is about Gen AI and automation. Uh, I think everybody wants to wants to make sure that they don't get missed out. They're not missing out on this new technology. But at the same time, the financial institutions being conservative and having to deal with regulators, and also having to deal with customers' money, are kind of grappling with this strange scenario where they want to do certain things, but at the same time they want to be sure that they do it right, because the market is going to be very unforgiving if anything goes bad. And I think that is that traditional, or is that the interface of the traditional mindset, the basics of the business of the financial services industry, when combined with the exuberance of the technology industry. And I think that is the should I say that is the crossroads, or the really the pivot around which today every bank and every financial institution is grappling with, and everyone is kind of looking at which direction should they take, and both in the short run and in the long run. And that's what I think is something that permeates across our lives in some form or the other. And we have to deal with this, and we have to come up with solutions that work today, solve your current problems, but at the same time it is future proof, because you don't know what's coming next. I mean, we hear about things like quantum computing and all, which threatens to completely disrupt our current ecosystem. So nobody knows which way we are going, but at the same time, we have to be completely alert, and we have to be absolutely sure of what we are doing, and at the same time make sure have that flexibility of having to change course, or at the same time having to accept that we are wrong, or some of the decisions does not make sense, and that's what I think is really a critical factor that we all have to incorporate into our day-to-day decision making.
Well, I have two banking relations, one on the business side, which is a major bank who will remain nameless, and then the other one is a community bank on the personal side. And it's really, and I'm very close, I'm not close to the big bank, but I'm very close with I've interviewed the CEO of the community bank. And it's interesting, to see the community banks really embracing technology. To me, the customer experience with the community bank is much better than it is with the national banks. They're sort of embracing technology, but their customer support is lacking. So you're in the middle of all of this, but as a consumer, it's interesting to see the implications. So I want to thank you for your time. I mean, the fintech and what you're doing, it's always interesting to see how commercial banks and the credit unions are trying to deal with change, because for most of their lives, until for the last, they didn't have the impact that fintech and everything's had. So again, thank you for your time, and keep us abreast of your growth trajectories.
Thank you, Edwin, and thank you to you and your team for making this possible. Thank you.